Hello, my name is Maciej, I'm the principal level designer at People Can Fly. Today I'm going to show you, using a game I'm working on at home in my free time, what my level design process looks like. I will talk a bit about my workflow and share a few level design principles that are especially important to me in my work. Let's go! Let's first take a look at what we are dealing with. I'm creating an action game, mostly aimed at kids and teens, but there's nothing stopping adults from enjoying it too. Especially if they like action games with cool stories and underground exploration. Something in the vibe of Diablo and isometric Lara Croft series. Codename Johnny and the King of the Skeletons. Our main character is on a school trip with his class, visiting a medieval castle. Along with their teacher and a guide, they are exploring different rooms. But Johnny is a bit of a troublemaker. He sneaks away from the group because he's drawn to an impressive statue of an ancient king. And as it tends to happen in games and movies, he accidentally triggers trapdoor and fails into the unknown. The main goal of the game is to escape from underground, but to do that you will have to face the King of the Skeletons and his army. Along the way you will uncover the castle's intriguing history and discover a few secrets that humanity was never meant to find. Alright, let's start designing the level. First, we need to understand the design of this place. What exactly are we building here? The level I've planned for today is the next region the player discovers in the game. The first one is the dungeon beneath the medieval castle. Then we move to the underground city, a forgotten place that once stood right here but collapsed underground. The castle was later built on the top of its ruin. This location plays an important narrative role, because here the player will find the key artifact for the game story. The level is designed to be a free roam arena, not a linear experience where the player just goes from point A to point B. Instead, the player can explore the whole map freely, solve puzzles and complete tasks. I also want this to be a small, compact level, one the player can get through pretty quickly since it's still a part of the broader tutorial phase. When I was planning it in a top-down map, I imagined the main quest giver placed right in the center. Behind them there is a gated area and a massive bridge leading to the next region. It will be also environmental hook. Right away the player knows that the path is blocked and that they will need to explore the rest of the level to unlock it. I've split the exploration into two sides, left and right. The right side is small and available immediately, while the left side is a bigger one. Only opens after you talk to the quest giver who activates the passage. There's one more thing that I didn't mention. Gathering references. Before I even start the blockout phase, I usually go through hundreds of references, screens, images, sometimes even scenes from movies. I keep it in the back of my mind that I'm going to design a level soon, and naturally start noticing little things, shapes, lighting, architecture, anything that might spark idea. Personally, I really like having a clear mental image of what I want to build. If I don't have that vision, I often end up creating something that is boring, generic, or not convenient. That's why I believe it's really worth taking the time to prepare, so that your imagination kicks in and you can literally close your eyes and picture a piece of architecture, geometry, before you even open the editor. Alright, let's talk a bit about the technical and production side of level design. We'll get into level design principles and the meat and potatoes a bit later, but for now let's take a look at the pipeline and the workflow. So what's the difference between those two? The pipeline is the order of creation. Think of it like a production line. The product moves from one person to the next, and each of them does something different. That's your pipeline, the sequence of steps. The workflow, on the other hand, is what those people are actually doing at each step. How they work, what tools they use, how they approach their tasks. In level design we follow similar structure. It all starts with the concept phase. We need to understand what we are making. We talk to game designers, narrative designers, environment artists. We figure out what we want to achieve with the level. And of course we get input from the creative director and leads. The level designer is kind of the center of development. We gather input from all these departments, filter it through our own understanding, and then move to execution. I don't write big documents anymore, as I found that most of it ends up changing during the production anyway. So I focus only on the core idea, the most important things, key narrative beats, key gameplay moments. Once I've got the one-pager ready, I jump into the engine, and that's where the spacing and pacing begins. I block out the level very quickly, no details, just big shapes. Lay down the core elements, the scale of the space, location of the combat arenas, exploration paths. At this white box stage, I can start to get a feel of the scale, the rhythm of the level. That's when I sometimes go back to the concept and adjust it slightly. Remember that game design document, level design document, it is a live document. It's not set in stone. This part is crucial and it's not worth skipping, because if you jump into detail too early, you often end up having to redo huge section later, which is waste of time and resources. That's why spacing and pacing is one of the most important steps in level design. Let's talk about the elements that experienced level designers know and use every day. Because level design isn't just about creating geometry for the players to walk on. It's about crafting an experience through geometry, through gameplay mechanics, through combat encounters, through environmental storytelling. It's about layering all these elements together to build something immersive. A space that feels alive, that the player will remember, and most important, that's fun to explore. It might sound obvious, but it's something that's always worth keeping in the back of your mind. In the end, the player experience is what matters most. So what experienced level designers think about? We think about layout clarity, about avoiding frustration, about using space to subtly guide the player without needing UI markers or voiceovers instruction. Great level designers use 3D space as a language, and we have a huge arsenal of tools to do that. We are using establishing shots, landmarks, path lines, framings, lightning cues, sound cues, height variations, choke points, gatings, and some more. The best level don't need to explain themselves with words. They tell stories through the environment itself. That's what environmental storytelling is all about. It makes your level feel real, believable. It adds depth to the experience. And it what make your level not just functional, but truly interesting. Alright, I wrap up my little design monologue on that slightly dramatic note. Now I invite you to sit back and watch the speed level design segment. See how the process actually unfolds in the engine. I will catch you at the end for a quick recap. We will take a look at how it turned out and what I am the most happy with. By the way, I'm using my own music in the background, because why not?
Między potrzebą a reakcją jest przestrzeń. Wypełniona się prostsze jest. Zero, jedynka, binarny świat. W schematach myślowych tak łatwo zgubić się. Oceniać nie trudno, niesprawiedliwie jest. Przeoczyć, utracić prawdziwy cel i sens. Zmarnować energię, nienawiść, szerzyć wręcz. Krok wstecz. przeżyty z zachowaniem status quo. Motywacja szukania sensu odeszła na drugi plan. Utracone szanse wracają, odkrywane jak stary film. Zaniedbane marzenia nadają komunikat nieprzeżytych chwil. W którym miejscu drogę wybrałem złą, kiedy rzuciłem radość? Ile czasu, ile straciłem lat, jak zgubiłem tożsamość. Między bodźcem a reakcją jest przestrzeń wypełniona nie tym, co trzeba. Zgorzkniały stary dziad pilnuje, abym przyszłość swą zaprzedał. W którym miejscu drogę wybrałem złą, kiedy rzuciłem radość? Ile czasu, ile straciłem lat, jak zgubiłem tożsamość. Wartości błąd, zgubiony cel i sens, żywot śmierci klątw. Kim stałem się? Kim stałem się? Kim stałem się? Kim stałem się? W którym miejscu drogę wybrałem złą, kiedy rzuciłem radość? Ile czasu, ile straciłem lat, jak zgubiłem tożsamość. Wartości błąd, zgubiony cel i sens, żywot śmierci klątw. Kim stałem się? Kim stałem się? Kim stałem się? Kim stałem się? Wszystko jest jasne, problem zniknął już. Zero, jedynka, pośrodku nic. Rozterek nie ma, życie prostsze jest. Zero, jedynka, binarny świat. W schematach myślowych tak łatwo zgubić się. Oceniać nie trudno, niesprawiedliwy jest. Przeoczyć, utracić prawdziwy cel i sens. Zmarnować energię, nienawiść śledzić wręcz. Krok wstecz, tam więcej widać, tam sedno jest. zeszła na drugi plan. Utracone szanse wracają, odkrywane jak stary film. Zaniedbane marzenia nadają komunikat nieprzeżytych chwil. W którym miejscu drogę wybrałem złą, kiedy rzuciłem radość? Ile czasu, ile straciłem lat, jak zgubiłem tożsamość. Między bodźcem a reakcją jest przestrzeń wypełniona nie tym, co trzeba. Zgorzkniały stary dziad pilnuje, abym przyszłość swą zaprzedał. W którym miejscu drogę wybrałem złą, kiedy rzuciłem radość? Ile czasu, ile straciłem lat, jak zgubiłem tożsamość. Wartości błąd, zgubiony cel i sens, żywot śmierci i klątw. Kim stałem się? Kim stałem się? Kim stałem się? Kim stałem się? W którym miejscu drogę wybrałem złą, kiedy rzuciłem radość? Ile czasu, ile straciłem lat, jak zgubiłem tożsamość. Wartości błąd, zgubiony cel i sens, żywot śmierci i klątw. Kim stałem się? Kim stałem się? Kim stałem się? Kim stałem się? Wszystko jest jasne, problem zniknął już. Zero, jedynka, pośrodku nic. Rozterek nie ma, życie prostsze jest. Zero, jedynka, binarny świat. W schematach myślowych tak łatwo zgubić się. Oceniać nie trudno, niesprawiedliwy jest. Przeoczyć, utracić prawdziwy cel i sens. Zmarnować energię, nienawiść szerzyć wręcz. Krok
se wracają, odkrywane jak stary film. Zaniedbane marzenia nadają komunikat nieprzeżytych chwil. W którym miejscu drogę wybrałem złą, kiedy rzuciłem radość? Ile czasu, ile straciłem lat, jak zgubiłem tożsamość. Między bodźcem a reakcją jest przestrzeń wypełniona nie tym, co trzeba. Zgorzkniały stary dziad pilnuje, abym przyszłość swą zaprzedał. W którym miejscu drogę wybrałem złą, kiedy rzuciłem radość? Ile czasu, ile straciłem lat, jak zgubiłem tożsamość. Wartości błąd, zgubiony cel i sens, żywot śmierci klątw. Kim stałem się? Kim stałem się? Kim stałem się? Kim stałem się? W którym miejscu drogę wybrałem złą, kiedy rzuciłem radość? Ile czasu, ile straciłem lat, jak zgubiłem tożsamość. Wartości błąd, zgubiony cel i sens, żywot śmierci klątw. Kim stałem się? Kim stałem się? Kim stałem się? Kim stałem się?
Wszystko jest jasne, problem zniknął już. Zero jedynka, pośrodku nic. Rozterek nie ma, życie prostsze jest. Zero jedynka, binarny świat. W schematach myślowych tak łatwo zgubić się. Oceniać nie trudno, niesprawiedliwy jest. Przeoczyć, utracić prawdziwy cel i sens. Zmarnować energię, nienawiść szerzyć wręcz. Krok wstecz, tam więcej widać, tam sedno jest. Krok wstecz, prawda ukryta pośrodku jest. Nie muszę myśleć, mam odpowiedź już. W skrajnych poglądach, w tradycji też. Tak łatwiej jest, tak prościej żyje się. Świat czarno-biały, kolorów brak. W schematach myślowych tak łatwo zgubić się. Oceniać nie trudno, niesprawiedliwy jest. Przeoczyć, utracić prawdziwy cel i sens. Zmarnować energię, nienawiść szerzyć wręcz. Krok wstecz, z tej perspektywy przygody.
odeszła na drugi plan. Utracone szanse wracają, odkrywane jak stary film. Zaniedbane marzenia nadają komunikat nieprzeżytych chwil. W którym miejscu drogę wybrałem złą, kiedy rzuciłem radość. Ile czasu, ile straciłem lat, jak zgubiłem tożsamość. Między bodźcem a reakcją jest przestrzeń, wypełniona nie tym co trzeba. Zgorzkniały stary dziad pilnuje, abym przyszłość swą zaprzedał. W którym miejscu drogę wybrałem złą, kiedy rzuciłem radość. Ile czasu, ile straciłem lat, jak zgubiłem tożsamość. Wartości błąd, zgubiony cel i sens, żywot śmierci klątw. Kim stałem się? Kim stałem się? Kim stałem się? Kim stałem się?
Alright, let's check what kind of setup we've got here in the editor. The camera is something between third person and isometric. It is tilted at about 35 degrees and placed pretty high. It is also static, we cannot rotate it. It uses perspective, so it's not truly isometric, but it might feel that way at first glance. At first, there is quite a lot going on visually. A lot of things competing for attention, but that's actually intentional, since this is supposed to be a free roam level, where the players define their own path. Of course, there are some limitations at the start. Part of the map are gated and will open up as the player progresses through the quest. I've scattered some breadcrumbs across the level, like the gold pieces you can see. They are subtle cues that pull the player in a different direction. Now, in the games, with this kind of camera angle, you usually see one of few typical layouts, like this, or that. During the speed level design, you probably noticed me checking out references of ancient cities, especially one built on hills. Italy, Croatia, this kind of environments. I was looking for irregular paths, uneven corridors, stuck buildings, and what I wanted was exactly what I've got here now. I just love this perspective. Take a look at these lines, they are not symmetrical. At the very start the player walks in, there is a bit of symmetry. The plaza in the center, the buildings on the left and right nicely lit. But once you go deeper, things get more chaotic, and I really like it. This is exactly the kind of vibe I want to hit. I'm definitely going to keep pushing in this direction on future levels. Irregular shapes, layered street, verticality. It just feels right.
Is that weird tree staring at me?
Weird? Weird? You little twig-legged whippersnapper, did you just call me weird?
And we meet a weird grumpy tree for the first time, that is always watching us.
Come closer.
I think he has some issues.
Let me take a... Come here! Explain yourself!
But this future friend, the tree, will give us our first quest. Once the functionality is in, the tree will put back its roots, and that shows us that it has a power to clear paths out of roots. When we bring back the item from the chest over there, our first quest objective, the tree will tell us that we are not strong enough yet to go further. It will reveal that the powerful artifact is hidden in the western part of the city. And that artifact will help us face the threats waiting beyond the gate. At the point, the roots blocking the western path will also disappear and part of the quest progression will be unblocked. Now, there are still some few smaller areas to explore. I remember seeing some bit more gold around here. And that goal leads us to higher platform. That's intentional. There's a chest up there. But how do we get there? Well, it's one of the early levels, so the puzzles isn't too hard. But if you look closely, you will notice the hint I left. Those wooden planks. They form a ramp. You realize you can't reach it directly, so you step back and see another ramp. And immediately gives you the idea, okay, I need to jump up from there. The chest is also placed intentionally. From that spot, the player gets a clear environmental hook. They can see the direction of the next big progression point. It is still blocked for now, but imagine that in the final version there will be a landmark there, something clear and visual that says this is your next destination. So, is this level finished? Are we done here? Definitely not. This is just the beginning. Right now we've got a functional level. We can walk around, interact with things, get a feel for the scale, the pacing, the time it takes to explore. This is the moment where we would normally start gathering feedback from other teams, but I have to handle it my own. So this is the point I will start iterating, and in the next video you will probably see some improvements. Thanks for watching. If you've got any questions, any thoughts, please put it in the comments. And see you next time.